Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got an internal report on Matchday 23 of Serie A, Italy's top football league. Looks like match summaries, some key moments, enough to really dig in.
Yeah, it seems like we've got a solid base here. Not just to, break down the scores, but to really get a feel for the tactical side of things, what happened on the pitch.
Yeah, and the first thing that really jumps out is all the upsets. So many underdog wins, it's crazy.
Absolutely. Right from the start, Parma versus Lecce. Lecce wins, but they had to come back after giving up a penalty.
A penalty, wow, those are like almost automatic goals, right?
Yeah, statistically speaking, very high chance of a goal. So for Lecce to, overcome that A&D, win the match, that's impressive.
Makes you wonder if, that penalty kind of woke him up.
Maybe. Krstovic equalizes right after, so clearly they didn't just crumble. And then, of course, Pierotti, 2 goals in the second half, that sealed it.
2 goals, that's huge. Any idea, tactically, what Lecce did to turn things around?
Hard to say for sure without, a deeper dive into the tactics, but maybe their coach, made some adjustments at halftime. A more aggressive press, maybe forced some errors, created chances.
Yeah, that makes sense. You really see the impact of, a good coach in those moments.
Absolutely. And speaking of upsets, Monza versus Verona. Verona wins, but their only goal, an own goal.
An own goal. Wow, you don't see that every day. I imagine it's tough to, mentally win a game when your opponent scores on themselves.
Definitely adds, a psychological element to it. Can be demoralizing, giving the other team this feeling of an unearned advantage. But Verona, they capitalize on that lucky break, defended well.
The defense must have been a wall to keep Monza out all game.
For sure, it really highlights how important defense is, even if it's, not as flashy. Well-organized defense, frustrating opponents, grinding out results. You see it here.
Right. Football isn't always about, the beautiful attacks. Sometimes it's that gritty defense. Okay, total opposite now. Udinese versus Venezia. This one was a goal fest.
5 goals, back and forth the whole time. Udinese takes the lead, Luka and Lekovic with the goals.
But Venezia, they fought back. Equalized not once, but twice. What a match.
Yeah, a real thriller. But Udinese gets the last word. Bravo with the winner in the 84th minute.
Late game drama. I bet the Udinese fans went wild.
Oh, absolutely. Late goals are always exciting. They show that mental strength, fighting till the end. And in a league like Serie A, those late goals, they mean points.
For sure. Must have been a real confidence boost for Udinese. Okay, a little less dramatic now. Atalanta draws Torino. Not a surprise, really. Both strong teams.
Yeah, true. But even in a draw like that, there are always those individual moments the tactics used. Unfortunately, this report doesn't get into that.
It still makes you think, though. The tactics were key players shut down. Any standout performances despite the draw?
Exactly. Always something to uncover, even in a result that seems, straightforward.
Okay, this one looked like an upset at first, but Juventus, they showed their power. Juventus versus Empoli.
Yes, Juventus wins 4-1, but as you said, not easy at first.
Empoli scores first, early in the match. Almost looked like they were on their way to a huge upset.
It was a bold start for Empoli, no doubt. But Juventus, they do what they do, turned it around. Kolo Muani with 2 quick goals, that changed everything.
2 goals back-to-back, a brace, right?
That's right. Big achievement for any player usually means the team's dominating. And in this case, yeah, it shifted everything in Juventus's favor.
And once they had the lead, that was it. Vlahovic and Conceicao score later. Shows just how deep and talented Juventus is.
Their manager, Allegri, known for his tactics, bringing those 2 in late, exploited Empoli's tired defense, turned a close match into a rout.
Yeah, a statement win from Juventus, reminding everyone in Serie A who's boss. Okay, 3 matches now, all incredibly close. Fiorentina versus Genoa, the Milan derby, AC Milan versus Inter Milan, and AS Roma against Napoli.
3 very different matches, teams, styles of play. But man, those finishes, any of them could have gone either way.
That's what gets the heart racing. Fiorentina first. They win 2-1 against Genoa. Keen into winter with the goals. Yeah. Not their best game, but they found a way.
Exactly. Grinding out wins like that, even when you're not at your best, that's a valuable skill. Sign of a contender.
So some might see it as, Fiorentina struggling, but you see it as strength. Interesting.
Something to watch for sure. Now, the Milan derby. Always a huge match, and this one lived up to it. Ends in a 1-1 draw.
The atmosphere must have been electric. Any key moments?
Well, just before halftime, AC Milan takes the lead, Rangers with the goal. They're probably thinking, great way to go into the break, but then stoppage time, De Vrij equalizes for Inter.
Stoppage time, man. That's always tense.
Sure.
For those listening who might not know, What exactly is stoppage time?
Sure, it's the time added at the end of each half, for injuries, substitutions, whatever, cause the game to stop. Referee decides how much to add.
So basically the last kick of the game. No wonder it's so dramatic.
You got it, and think about it. Devastating for the team that concedes. Pure joy for the team that scores. Changes the entire story in seconds.
That's football. You never know what'll happen till the final whistle. Speaking of dramatic late goals, AS Roma versus Napoli, another wild one.
Another 1-1 draw. Napoli leads Spinazzola with the goal, but then, 90-plus second minute, Angelino ties it for Roma.
Seconds before the end. Can you imagine both benches? Napoli, they think they've won, then boom, it's gone.
Oh man, the emotions, pure elation for Roma, heartbreak for Napoli. These late goals, they're what make football so unpredictable, so captivating.
Right, reminds us that things can change instantly. No lead is safe till that whistle blows. Okay, little less dramatic now. To wrap up match day 23, Lazio beats Cagliari 2-1. Zaccagni and Castellanos the goal scorers.
Big win for Lazio. But, Cagliari, even though they lost, they showed some quality, created chances, made it tough for Lazio.
So Lazio gets the points, but Cagliari, some positives to take away. Even in defeat, they show they can hang with the top teams.
Absolutely. Not a team to underestimate, that's for sure.
So, what a ride through match day 23. Twists and turns, surprises all over the place. Fascinating to break it all down with you.
Likewise, really shows how unpredictable Serie A is. Underdogs stepping up, giants showing their strength, those dramatic finishes had us all on the edge of our seats.
Tactical battles, moments of brilliance, and of course that element of luck that makes football so great. But I'm curious, from all these matches, what stood out to you the most?
It's tough, really is. So many, interesting storylines developing. But if I had to pick, keep an eye on Lecce.
Lecce, huh? The comeback kings against Parma.
Exactly. That match, that was a statement. Coming back from a penalty goal that early shows resilience, tactical awareness, belief.
It's like conceding that goal, almost like a flip to switch, made him even more determined.
And Pierotti, those 2 goals, so clinical. He looks like a player who, the bigger the moment, the better he plays. Going to be fun to watch him this season.
I think they can keep this up. Or was it just, a one-off?
Too early to say, for sure. But the potential is there. Consistency is key. Can they adapt to different opponents? But yeah, they've earned our attention.
Okay, other end of the spectrum, Verona. Not pretty against Monza, but hey, a win's a win. Think their defense can take it far?
That's the question. Defensively, yeah, they were solid against Monza. But relying only on defense, that's risky. They got to find ways to score more if they want to be at the top.
Makes you wonder if they'll, try to sign some attacking players. Next transfer window, maybe. But even without that, a good defense, that's a foundation, right? Look at some of the classic teams, all built on defense.
No doubt about it. And sometimes, a team with a really strong defense, they frustrate their opponents, grind out those results, even if they aren't, the most exciting to watch.
Points are points, right? Doesn't matter how you get them. Speaking of excitement, though, Udinese, that late win against Venezia, wow. Turning point for them, maybe.
Could be. Late goals, huge for morale. For Udinese, it shows they got the character, the fight, to win, even when it's tough. But like Lecce, consistency is going to be everything.
Seems to be the theme, huh? Being consistent. It's a long season, not just about, one great performance. Got to deliver week after week.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that brings us back to Juventus. Empoli scared them early, but ultimately they showed why they're the title favorites.
Yeah, it was like, their whole season in one match. Not always dominating, but they find ways to win. And that squad, so deep, always a threat.
Allegri, their manager, he's a master of tactics. He knows how to use every player. Controlling the pace of the game, exploiting weaknesses, that's what sets him apart.
Like a machine, right. Even if one part's not working, the others pick up the slack.
Exactly. Quality and experience it shows. But, Juventus might be the favorites, but there are others in Serie A showing they can challenge them.
Right. Fiorentina, they grind out those wins, even when they're not playing their best. Mentally tough, tactically flexible, they could be real contenders.
They might not have, the superstars like Juventus, but that collective spirit, the discipline, they're a tough team to beat.
And those 2 draws, Milan Derby, Roma, and Napoli. What a roller coaster.
Tell me about it. Those late goals, back and forth, so much drama. It just reminds you, in football, anything can happen. That's what we love about it.
It's those moments, pure excitement, that keep us coming back for more.
Totally agree. That unpredictability, it's magic. And it's not just about the final score, It's about the journey, the twists and turns along the way.
So, thinking about this match day, What are the big takeaways? What can we learn from this snapshot of Serie A?
I think the main thing is the quality is so high throughout the league. There are no easy matches this season. Any team can beat any other team on any given day.
Yeah, so competitive you can't, predict anything.
We also saw, the tactics are evolving, teams are more sophisticated, changing formations, strategies based on the opponent.
Like a giant game of chess, right?
Yeah.
Managers constantly trying to outsmart each other.
And of course, those moments of individual brilliance, they can change everything. Pierotti's goals, Bravo's winner, Muani's brace.
Those flashes of magic, a player just, takes over, creates something special, makes it unforgettable.
And the mental side of it, can't forget that. Teams like Fiorentina, they show that resilience, the determination, staying focused under pressure. That's just as important as talent.
Believing you can win, even when it's tough.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams in Serie A, they have that belief.
This match day, it was like a perfect example of what makes Serie A so great. The tactics, the individual brilliance, those upsets, every team fighting hard. Just incredible.
It's a league that keeps you on your toes, rewards those who can adapt, full of stories waiting to be told. Now, for our listener, as you're following Serie A, what should you look for beyond just the scores and standings?
Great question. I'd say watch out for the young players coming up. We saw some of it with, Pierotti, Conceicao, but there are others all over the league ready to break out.
Always exciting to see, a young player come out of nowhere. Maybe one of them will be a key part of the title race.
Could happen. And speaking of the title race, it's going to be a good one. Juventus the favorites, but like we saw, other teams can challenge them.
Going to be a wild ride, that's for sure. Okay, before we wrap up this incredible match day, one last thought for our listener. We talked about, tactics, individual players, all that. But what about just luck? I mean, Verona, they won because of an own goal.
Right. Luck, or maybe call it chance. It's part of the game, Always there, lurking. An own goal, yeah, that's dramatic. But so many other ways luck can, swing things.
Yeah, like a bad bounce, suddenly it's a goal. Or a referee's call could go either way.
Totally. And don't forget things like the weather. Raining suddenly might help a team that's used to playing in that,
It's wild to think, with all the planning, the analysis, there's always that unpredictable element. Chance can just change everything.
And that's what's so cool about it, I think. Keeps you guessing. The best team can lose because, bad luck. The underdog, they get a lucky break. Who knows?
So for anyone listening, as you watch Serie A, keep an eye on those moments where luck, steps in. It's all part of the excitement, the drama, what makes this league so special.
Adds another layer, right? Anything can happen.
Well said. This has been great breaking down this match day with you. We covered so much: upsets, tactics, brilliant players, that luck factor. Woo!
A real deep dive into Serie A. Hopefully everyone listening, they understand this league a little better now. The complexity, but also the beauty of it.
Always trying to, give you those aha moments. So to everyone listening, thanks for joining us. Keep exploring, keep learning, keep diving deep into this sport. We'll be back soon with another deep dive, ready to unpack something new. Until then, enjoy the beautiful game.